Hey everyone, today we're going to talk about counting money. And this is our first formal lesson on using coins and counting them instead of just using them as manipulatives to count. So, on our worksheet today called Spring Shopping, it has a nickel, which is worth 5 cents. Again, that's a nickel that's worth 5 cents. So when we think about counting by fives, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, which we've done before, we are going to count by that number when we see a nickel. And then the smaller coin is a penny. If I had real coins to show you, which I'm going to show you during the Zoom meeting, and right now, I just don't have them with me. And we're going to talk about it again next week. This was just our first activity with counting money. You would see that not quarters, pennies are a copper color, which is almost like a brown or metallic color because it's made out of metal. And the nickel is silver. So most of the coins that you're going to see are going to be silver. There's a few gold coins, and then the penny is copper. So the penny is not the smallest in size, but it's the smallest in value of how much it's worth. So it would be counting by ones. So in order to buy something, if we're counting by ones, just like when we count by ones for regular numbers, it takes longer. So that's why they have, and there would be more of them. So that's why they have bigger coins for bigger values, like a nickel, which is 5 cents, a dime, which is smaller in size, but bigger in value. But we're not going to get into that today. We're going to just talk about nickels and pennies today. So what we're going to do is it says you're going to count the coins and answer the questions. So you have to be able to count each of the values of the total number of coins. So that means that we're going to count here. I have a nickel and 1, 2, 3, 4 pennies. So what I want us to start thinking about is remembering back to when we were counting from a number. We didn't have to count each time to that number, but instead we started directly at that number. So I'm not going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm just going to put the number 5 in my head and think, okay, and now I need to count on from that number. So if I want to count on 4 pennies, that means I have to say 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that means that my total amount is 9 cents. So I'm going to write 9. And then the question says, can you buy the kite? And I have to find where the kite is on the paper. And each picture is labeled with the word as well. So that way you can practice your reading skills. So here is the kite. Kite. And the kite we see is 8 cents. So I'm going to look at, I have 9 cents and it cost 8 cents. Do I have enough? Is 9 bigger or smaller than 8? Or is it the same? So when I think about that question, I know that 9 is bigger than 8. So that means that I have enough money and I'll even have some left over. I will have 1 cent left over. So the answer is yes, I can buy the kite. And the only way that you can buy the item is if the amount that you have is larger or the same amount as what the item costs. If I had had only 6 cents, then I wouldn't be able to buy the kite because I wouldn't have enough and I would need to get more pennies or nickels in order to be able to have enough. So you're going to do that for each answer. And if you want, you can add up the totals. Not add up, but count how many you have for each amount and write it and then answer all of the questions. Or you can do it like I did and just answer one at a time. Find out the amount of money you have, and then if it's enough to buy the item. But you want to pay close attention to make sure you're using the correct price tag, because even though this price tag here is kind of close to the umbrella, this is connected to the bubbles. And I don't want to think that the umbrella cost 4 cents. Instead, it's the bubbles. Now, these are very inexpensive, very cheap items. If you were to go to the store, you wouldn't be able to buy an umbrella for 9 cents or bubbles for 4 cents. But that's not what we're talking about. We're just talking about learning how to count change, because in order to count in order to count dollars, you have to learn how to count change first. I hope that this is clear on what you have to do. We're going to go over it again in the Zoom meeting. So we'll have some more practice, and we'll practice counting with not real coins, but plastic coins that look like the coins instead of just drawings. Because I want you to be able to recognize what the actual coins look like. And I might read you a story as well that has to do with counting money. All right, so I hope you have a great day, and I hope that this helped. If you need any extra help, join me for my office hours between 1 and 2:30. Bye, guys.